Okay, guys, I'm really excited about tonight because tonight we are going to have one of the reasons people are having tremendous success, and I call it the perfect story. The reason is because we have talked about this. I, excuse me, I adjust a couple of things that you're going to see tonight. But guys, if you follow the formula that you're going to see tonight and you use it, obviously, you're going to be really, really successful because it has worked for me. I make a little adjustments when I see what other successful people in Isagenix are doing to make it even more aggressive. Because, by the way, we always keep learning. It's not something that always everything is written in stone. Always we learn new things that make things even better. Now, yeah, we're having some problems on the software side because there was a big upgrade in the Map Apple side, and so it seems that some of the sites like GoToWebinar, etc., they are behind time. But now they are starting to get up to date with us, and actually it really works really nice when it's working. Anyway, okay, well, let's start. Are you recording, by the way? I want to make sure that you are okay.
Yes. Yes,
okay,
we're recording.
Let's start. How to tell the perfect story all the time. Now, look at these names. You probably, I don't know, you recognize the first one. The first one is Alexis Romano. She came from nowhere, and in less than a year, she broke the six-figure income in a month. Lynn Haggeron, well, many of you know her story. And of course, Susan Sly, you know her story. Dave MacArthur, I mean, the last year, his business has grown incredible. He went from being usually in the top 55, 60, etc., so only to break into the top 16 at a really high speed. Well, Jimmy Smith, everybody knows, I don't have even to introduce him. Renata Lee, another newcomer, Emily Batra, and then was Peter Kelly. Probably most of you don't know who these two girls are. Emily is 27 years old, Peter is 25 years old. Peter went from 5-star to 7-star in 1 week. That's a record in Isagenix. And for those of you who say, well, what that means? That means that she increased by more than 100 cycles from 1 week to the other one. And she already was a 5-star. 5-star means around 100 cycles a week. And she went through over 200 cycles a week, really quick. But all these people have something in common. They are really great storytellers. They tell stories. If you have come across any of them, you will find out that all of them know how to tell a story, not only their own story, but other people's stories. And that's why they are so successful. And of course, and they go into action, because I bet there are a lot of people that can tell great stories, but they don't make one penny because they don't tell anybody. But we have many more. And when you look through all the top 15 Isagenix or the top 100, you're going to find out that most of them have in common that they are really good storytellers. And it doesn't matter your age. As you see, Jimmy is 85, Peter is only 25. She and Emily is very close to become the youngest millionaire. She's really close. But Peter is younger than her, and she's coming really hard. It's going to be interesting. But anyway, guys, oh, and by the way, of all the people that you see in the screen, only 3 has experience in network marketing. That's the cool thing. Now, let's talk about stories. Why stories? Facts tell, stories sell. This is really important. People must know why you are doing this. Because it's not just, most people, the problem that I see when they say that they have a lot of no's is because they are saying they are trying to sell the product or jump into the business right away without telling their story and telling why you're doing it. People buy stories, not things. Keep this in mind. People buy stories, not things. I'm going to talk a little slower. I already get a text. Can you talk slower? Stories create images on people's mind. And we think in images. This is so important. Stories are emotional if you do it right. In other words, that doesn't mean that they are going to make you cry, but they are going to excite you to do something, to go into action. Now, a good story has to have certain factors or certain steps that are really important. Must be short. You cannot talk for 10, 15 minutes. I've seen people that they go to a meeting and they talk to 10, 15 minutes about their story. Unless it's a long 3 days training, you don't have the time to go long. The idea is to have it less than 2-3 minutes. Must create curiosity. You have to create curiosity. If you don't, people are not going to listen to you. Must have a call to action in it. And this is very important, and that's one of the things most people miss. They don't have a call to action in this story. Must cover the business if you want to create a strong residual income. Now, this is the formula, and we see Mr. Einstein, what he's telling us. The formula is very simple. B plus N plus E plus S. Successful story. Now, let me explain what the formula is. First, B is before Isagenix. Very simple. You are going to tell people before Isagenix where you were. E, your experience in Isagenix so far, or the experience of other people. It doesn't have to be your own experience. And what is next? In other words, where are you going? And the S, why you share. Oh, by the way, it's Benz, like Mercedes-Benz. Interesting. But anyway, let's start it. Now, before Isagenix, this is before, in the cave time, before you knew anything about Isagenix, where you were before. And this is really important because you have to tell people where you were before, how you felt before, etc. Before Isagenix, I felt all overweight. I was living paycheck to paycheck without hope, or whatever. Put it in your own words. But as you see, it's really short. You don't have to be really long. Very simple. Again, where you were before Isagenix. Before Isagenix, I felt all overweight, and I was living paycheck to paycheck without hope. Now, E is what is your experience in Isagenix. This is the next one. Where are you now? Explain where you are now in Isagenix. Example, now I feel more energy, I look younger, I release X amount of funds, I'm getting paid, if you are already getting paid in Isagenix, and now I'm really excited about our future. Now, if you are brand new, you don't have to have a great story. You can use many stories that we have in Isagenix. For example, this one. Let me tell you what I found out. A woman who I know lost over 120 pounds, and she's earning thousands by sharing her story. And just shut up to see what the people said. But anyway, this is really, 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 really simple. Many people think that they have to have an amazing story. I never lost 120 pounds or anything like that. I didn't sign up and make $10,000 my first day. That didn't happen to me. What I was doing telling other stories. I was telling the story of Jimmy Smith. Here, I give an example. Here I say I sponsor several people in my group before I got my products. And as I say, I was using Jimmy Smith's story. Now, let me go to the next one, success. What is next? Now, this is something that most people, and I will bet most people that are right now on the webinar, miss. And it's, where are you going? This is really important. Because people want to know where you are going. Explain what you are expecting. Example, I expected that I will be earning X amount of money by X amount of time. Make sure you are realistic. You are not going to say, I'm making $100,000 a month by December. This is 70 days from now. I will quit my job, and next year we will be going to Europe, get a new car, and maybe even moving to a larger home, or whatever dreams. You can say, make sure you say this with emotion, and you can go a little longer here when you're talking one-on-one with a person, but this is really important. And then, and again, really important. Now, the last one is the one that is going to seal the deal. It's like a closing of the business. And let me show you. Share. Why are you sharing? Now, why are you sharing? This is at 2 steps. And the reason I have it in 2 steps is to make it much clearer. And you heard this before from me. First, you ask about their dreams. If money and time were not a challenge, and you have all the time to enjoy them, what would you do? What would you buy? Who would you help? Where would you live? Or whatever else, and let the person answer. Now, at this point, you give time to the other person. This is their story at this point. Let them talk and add the question to make sure that they talk, and then say, doing what you are doing now, how long will it take you to do all those things? This is really important because they have to see reality that wherever they are now, they're going to have a hard time reaching many of those dreams that they are telling you. And then the second part, explain why you are sharing. The reason I'm sharing this with you is because I know you and I together can accomplish all these things and more. Let's do it. Now, this is really important. The reason I'm sharing this with you is because I know you and I together can accomplish all the things and more. In other words, you are showing them that you are going to be working together with him or her. In other words, they are not going to be alone. And you also can tell them about the team, etc. This is important. When you follow these 4 steps, success is going to happen without doubt. Now, let me put all these 4 elements together. Before Isagenix, I felt all overweight and I was living paycheck to paycheck without hope. Now I feel more energy. I look younger. I release 20 pounds and I'm getting paid. Now my hope is back. I expect that I will be earning $20,000 by next year, December, and I will quit my job. And next year, we will be going to Europe. We are going to buy a new car and maybe even moving to a larger home. Now, I have a question for you. If money and time were not a challenge and you have all the time to enjoy them, what would you do? What would you buy? What would you help? Where would you live? Doing what you are doing now, how long will it take you to do all those things? The reason I'm sharing this with you is because I know you and I together can accomplish all these things and more. Let's do it. You see, guys, really, really simple. You have a short story. You update your story every time you hit a milestone, by the way. Make sure you do that. You can share your story in person, by phone, or messaging in social media. You can even email it. Share it twice a day or more, 5 days or more, and in a year or less, you may fire your boss. I mean, guys, you see, this was a short webinar, and for those of you that came late, you're probably saying, what? What happened? Guys, the reason is because, again, it's a really simple way to share your story, and when you share a story and you do it right, you can be really successful. And Alex, I know I ended really early, and I am ready for questions about this or any other things that people want to ask me.
Yeah,
Alex,
George,
can you hear me? Oh, for a
absolutely,
second, I
and
froze.
great, and thanks for sharing that story with us. And that's exactly one of the things that I loved about this business was that it was so simple, as simple as sharing a story. And when I first joined, actually, George, you shared that story with me and told me, hey, this is what you need to do: share the story and teach people to share the story. And that has resulted in thousands of people joining our groups. So, for those of you that are new to the webinar, just wanted to uh, let you know that you can ask questions. Just go to the GoToWebinar control panel at the top right of your screen and look for the questions chat box, and just go ahead and type in your questions in there, and George will be glad to answer them.
Yes. And guys, make sure you ask questions. You can ask all the questions if you want, but first I would like to hear anything pertaining to this, how to share with people. But guys, seriously, those success stories that you hear every time in Isagenix is because people are sharing the stories. I want to get back to one of those people because she said at the convention, she was really clear what it happened to her. And anyway, this person is Emily, the person that's right here, Emily. Emily Barbara, and she was an Isagenix for a little while, and
Yeah,
but she was
George,
struggling.
sorry
Yeah, go
to
ahead.
interrupt you, but we don't see the Emily's picture in there.
Oh, you don't?
Nope.
You see any pictures?
No, we just see that's it.
Oh, that's
Okay, you
weird.
might want to just hit play again, or
Yeah, okay, let's play again. Two, two, two. Do you see pictures now?
no. So actually, let me just drop drop you and just reinstate you so you can
Okay, perfect. And
basically.
meanwhile, let me keep talking about Emily. Emily, one of the things that she changed a few things, and I'm going to talk about the things that she changed. And one of the things that I want, obviously, in the future, we are going to have her, many of the people that you see on the screen on our call. But anyway, Emily, okay, let me show my screen, and you tell me. Okay, can you see something?
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, because I lost my presentation for some reason. Huh, that's weird. I lost the whole thing.
George, you might be on the wrong Keynote, the new Keynote
Okay.
application.
Okay, well, maybe sure. And just reopen it. Okay, there it is. Okay, you see the pictures?
There we are.
Okay, Emily is here on the left, bottom right, left, next to Dave McCarthy on the left side. On the left side, Emily was in Isagenix for a little while, and she was struggling. She and her boyfriend at the time, they couldn't get married because they didn't have the money. But then they came to the convention last year, not this year, but the last year in 2012. And they got excited when they heard the stories from by Lynn Haggeron, Lisa DeMaio, and all these really successful people in Isagenix. And they said, you know what, we can do this. And then suddenly they changed. They start talking about their dreams. They start talking about their story, where they were before, but they were talking about people, where are we going? And they were allowing the people to tell them their stories of where they wanted to go. And they were saying, let's do this together. And after they make, that was one of the changes. In a second, I tell you what was the other one change. The other change, people start getting excited joining her. The other change that she made, or they made, she and her now husband, they got married now, is that they decided that they wanted to talk about lifestyle and business. Before, they were only talking about products, telling about how great the product is. But as soon as they would start telling their stories and they got into the lifestyle, the business changed totally. As a matter of fact, since January, they earn multiple six figures income. As a matter of fact, Emily, she's 26, I think. She's in her way to become the youngest millionaire in Isagenix. Of course, as I said, Peter, the one that just came on the screen, she wants to give her a run for her money, but Peter has been in Isagenix much more recently, although suddenly her business exploded. She went from 5-star to 7-star. Emily is also a 7-star Golden Circle. But anyway, guys, the story is so important. Make sure you ask those, tell your story to people. And then also use, obviously, the tools, because telling your story and using the tools, you are going to be really successful. I wonder if we have any questions, because I cannot see anything from here.
Yeah, actually, George, we do have one question, and the question is, I'm brand new in Isagenix, and I don't have a powerful story. What do I do?
Mm-hmm. Well, we went, let me go to the really formula. Uh, okay, let me go. Like I said, when I started in Isagenix, and I'm going to put it on the screen because I think that's really important. I didn't have a story. You see, like I say here, I sponsored several people in my group before I got my product. I was using Jimmy's story. As a matter of fact, I think I had something like 12 or 15 people in my group before. And I had sponsored several people, including Alex. Alex was one of my first sponsors before I got my product. And Alex, you became a consultant also before you got your product. I became a consultant before I got my product. And you say, how can that happen? Because we were telling Jimmy Smith's story. We were surprised. I mean, saying this guy is 75 and is in less than a year, he's making almost 20,000 a month. You know what's funny, by the way? Jimmy's is right now 85 years old, is 10 years older, and he's making what he was making. Well, he's making much more per week than what he was making at the time per month. But we were very excited about Jimmy Smith, and still I use Jimmy Smith's story. Of course, I have a story now, but I didn't have any. You use other people's stories. You use, and in this case, let me tell you what I found out, or like I said before, let me go at the one before. Okay, let me go very quick. Did you, by the way, the screen say, what is your experience, Alex?
Yes, you have that.
Okay, you say, if you don't have an amazing story, you just tell other people's story. Here, for example, let me tell you what I just found out. A woman that I know lost over 120 pounds, and she's earning thousands of dollars to tell her story. By the way, this is Jill Bird. He's a friend of mine, and she lives here in Utah, not some miles away from me. But anyway, guys, you use other people's stories. And actually, myself, I not only use my story, but I love to use other people's story. And I have to go back to when Jimmy Smith contacted me the first time. Jimmy called me for 10 months in a row, every week. And every time he was calling me, he was telling me somebody else's story. Yeah, I knew about his story, but he was telling me somebody else's story. And how Jimmy knew all these stories? Really easy. And guys, I hope you go to the ISA FYI that you receive on your email. I think it's once a week. There are many stories there. You can go to the Isagenix website and click on success stories, and you have tons of stories there that you can tell stories every week for the rest of your life. And they keep adding stories. You can go to so many places where you can have success stories, and just learn other people's stories. I was telling just one of the people that we signed up last week. I was telling them the story about this nurse that she's only 26 years old. I don't remember her name right now, but in just a few months, she was earning over $20,000 per month. And this, she was working part-time Isagenix at first. She had three kids, a mom, and 26 years old, never experienced network marketing. I tell the story of Emily, Barbara, and guys, if you don't say, well, I don't remember, I've never heard those stories, guys, make sure you go read the emails from Isagenix because this came on an email, and go to isafyi.com, and then you can find many of these stories. As a matter of fact, let me go to one of them here. isafyi.com. Okay. Okay. This here is FYI, and you see when you go there, there are a lot of things. Okay. You can keep going, motivate your Monday with this perfect product, the nominees announced for the Heart of Isagenix stories, and then you click in other posts, and you see always there's something. For example, here say dental hygienist retired after starting Isagenix business, and talk about I don't know who she is. It's funny. It's nice when there are people that you don't know. Just keep going. You see new records, exciting recognition plays. We have so many stories. You keep going back, and this comes in emails, but you see, and there's not only story, but things that you can share with people. How to get featured on an official Isagenix social media site. Well, that's cool. I don't remember that one. But you see, launch parties, the news. This is how Sag Harbor mom become a millionaire with Isagenix. And by the way, she never done network marketing. She's a millionaire in Isagenix. I told that story. I've been telling this story too. I mean, guys, there's so many great things, many stories. I mean, another story, etc. And I keep going on and on. Or you can go to Isagenix, your website, or isagenix.com, and also you can click opportunity, excuse me, people, success stories, and then here on the right side you see business stories, athletes, millionaires, etc. I'm going to go to business stories, and then you can go through different business stories. Guys, there is not a scarcity. There are a lot of them. I wonder if there's another question.
Yeah,
I hope I
actually,
answered, and I think I answered.
yeah. And George, just wanted to quickly, since we're on the topic of stories, tell a quick story about way at the beginning. Jimmy Smith actually came to Fort Lauderdale, and my wife Marlena and I, we met him for dinner. And right after dinner, he's telling us about everything that we need to know in Isagenix. We were in it just a couple of weeks probably, and I went to pay for dinner, and Jimmy actually said, "No, I'll get it." And Alex, I just want you to know that today is the first day that I earned $1,000 in a day. And that to me was extremely impressive, that one could actually earn that kind of money. And you can see all the disclosures at isagenixearnings.com, which we always have to keep in mind. We need to follow these compliance procedures and use isagenixearnings.com when talking about incomes. But this is a training call, and just wanted to basically let you know that since then, uh, not only Jimmy has achieved that, we have, uh, dozens and dozens of people on our team that have achieved it, and probably in Isagenix itself, lots of people that have achieved that level of income. And Jimmy nowadays is earning many times more than he was earning at that point. So it's a powerful income plan, powerful compensation plan actually, that we
Yeah.
have in here. So let's just go quickly to another question. And the question is, George, do you only tell a story on the phone or in person, or do you post it on Facebook and look for comments and likes?
You can do all that. As a matter of fact, for those of you that follow me on Facebook, I at least once a week I post somebody's success story. Not only mine, but somebody's success story. And that works because, as a matter of fact, there's a guy that I've been having conversation that he was really big in network marketing in the past, and he's been retired basically. And the reason he's looking at Isagenix is because he read one of my stories about a month ago that I posted of one of our team members, Lori Harder, and and he was asking me questions not only about her but about other success stories. And now he's really, really open-minded to Isagenix. But that's an example. Yeah, you can do it on social media. You can, but it's great when you tell people in person, face to face. It's much more powerful when you tell people, and then you can say something. Let me send you the story and send a link to this different story that we have. Because again, we have so many. These are just some of the business stories that you see here. A few of them. You can still click on millionaires, and I mean, it's really powerful. And then you have the stories that come every week. Every week we have at least one or two new stories on the business and also on the products. But if you want to use a lot of products, but I would recommend you to talk about both. Um, don't limit yourself to just talking about one thing. And ask people, tell stories, but then ask them what are their goals. Make sure don't miss this point. Ask, tell them where you are going, and ask them what are their goals. If money and time were not a problem, what would they would do? What are their dreams? And then tell them you are going to be working with them. Let's work together and reach those goals. These are really important. It's not only the stories that you're telling, but more important is what are their dreams and how you are going to help them to reach them. That is the most important part of all. The stories are to show, to make a point that people are already reaching their goals. But the biggest impact is going to be when you tell your prospect, let's do it together. We have a whole team that's going to be working with us. It's not only me, but the whole team.
Then, George, thank you so much, and thank you to each and every single one of you for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you then next week. So, good night,
Okay.
everyone.
Good night.